this video, we are going to have a look at a way to answer reading comprehension questions. And you might have noticed in your students' OneNote notebook, if you've checked that out, that there are a number of questions that they've been practicing answering based on the model that we have right here. So let me just explain that really quickly. The model we're using is something called the RAPS model. So what that means is that each student's response has to include 4 particular pieces. The first piece is to restate the question. The second is to answer the question. And the third is to prove answers with proof from the text. That's a reference to the actual story that we're reading right now, which is Leon and the Spitting Image. And then finally, and probably most challengingly, is something that's called the schema piece of the answers. And what that means is that it is a connection that your student is going to make from the text, which is Leon and the Spitting Image, to either the student's own personal life, maybe another book or a movie that they've seen, or to something that they've heard about in the news or that's happened in another part of the community or their broader world. So in each of these pieces, it will actually show that your student really knows what they're talking about when it comes to answering the question. It's a way to ensure that comprehension is happening at the highest of levels. So with that being said, here is the question that we have that your students were considering today. What do you think that Miss Hagmeyer is doing with her students' animals? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to build an answer using some of the contributions from the class right now. Is everyone ready?
Yep.
All right. Fantastic. So what we're going to do is start. And who would like to start right away by giving an answer? What do you think that Miss Hagmeyer is doing with her students' animals? Restating the question, giving an answer, giving proof from the text, and also giving a personal connection, if we can. That's the level 4 piece to this. What would you say, Lexi? How many people also said that? All right, so a number of students. So we're going to go along with this. That's great, Lexi. Thank you. I think that Miss Hagmeyer is selling her students' animals. Very good. Now, anybody want to expand on that just a little bit? Isabel, go ahead.
In one of the chapters, when they were doing Meet the Teacher, Mrs. Hagmeyer didn't about the animals.
So in the Meet the Teacher chapter, thank you, Isabel. In the Meet the Teacher chapter, Miss Hagmeyer would not answer the parents' questions about what she was doing with the animals. Now, let's have a look at this and try and connect what we see in our answer to what we have at the very top. Let's choose a color. I'm just going to erase this over here just so we don't get too confused. Oh, sorry about that. I'm just going to erase this so we don't get too confused. let's choose a color for restating the question. What would you say? Abigail?
I would say something like green.
Green. So we're going to restate the question. So restating the question is going to be green. Is the answer that Lexi gave, did that include a restating the question? Yes, it did. I think that Miss Hagmeyer is, and the question was, what do you think Miss Hagmeyer is doing? So that piece of the answer, I think Miss Hagmeyer is restating the question. What about answering the question? What is the answer? Kenny?
It would be red.
Okay, so we're going to do red. So what part would be answer? We've got like the purpley color over here. Arushi?
I think the answer is that
What is the answer that we've written down already here?
in the Meet the Teacher chapter, Ms. Hagmeyer would not answer parents' questions about what she was doing with their house.
So that's not the answer part, although it's part of, everything's kind of the answer. That's not the answer part though. That's actually the, Brendan?
Isn't that the proof?
That's the proof. That's exactly right. Does that make sense?
Okay. But,
In the Meet the Teacher, I'm just going to underline it because it's kind of a dark.
can I say that answer part?
Can you say the answer part?
Yeah.
In just a moment. But does everyone see how this is the proof from the text? Because in particular, it's in the Meet the Teacher chapter. That's a reference to the text, right? Very good. So what about the answer? What would you say? What would you say there, Brendan?
So the answer is selling her at the Christian family.
Good for you. That's exactly right. That is the answer part. So what's the only piece that we haven't really had here? It's the schema piece, right? So can you think of maybe a connection to either something that's happened in your life or maybe a connection to another movie or book that you've read or something that you've heard about that might make you think about that you'd come to the same conclusion here, that Miss Hagmeyer is definitely selling things? Who wants to bring that up? Isabel?
Sometimes when my brother or sister don't answer my question, I usually think that they're hiding something and sometimes they're not.
Okay, so Isabel's got a really good connection, all right? So sometimes my siblings, why don't you say that again, please?
Don't answer my question. I
Uh-huh.
think that they're hiding something and sometimes they are.
Sometimes my siblings don't answer my questions, and it makes me think. It makes me think that they are hiding something from me. That's your schema, friends. So if you have does that make sense? Do you see how that's a complete answer now? That's just fantastic. Gives a personal connection. It's a text to self, schema, and that is what you call, that's like a level 4 answer right there. If you're looking to get level 4. That's what that means. So what your assignment is going to be is to have a look at all the other questions that you've answered already in OneNote. Have a look at this video, talk it over with your families if you like, and see if you can bump up the answers that you have right there. Now the really cool thing about OneNote is that if you wanted to simply change what you've written already, do you know what you can do? You can just click in OneNote and pretty much just type absolutely anywhere. Did you know that? This is the coolest thing about OneNote, and I'll show you that right now. So you can just go right over here and say, I would like to add something to my answer. And just type right in there, and guess what? It saves automatically. So I just want to say thank you very, very much, everybody. Everyone say hey.
Hey!
check this out at home. Thanks so much.